Ukraine is a country with a 1,000-year history, from its philosophers and scientists to its world-class athletes and cultural figures in every field of expertise. It is a country of culture, of unique inventions, of beautiful cities, and internationally beloved cuisine. It's a country of melodic language and sincerity of soul. We are kind to our friends, and we want only to build a better future together. We have so many things to defend, and we will never give up our land, our culture, our history.
Now, in these hard for my country days, I want to tell you about Ukrainian opposition in USSR. In USSR, one of the main centers of dissident movement, which is struggle for human rights and against totalitarian regime, was Ukraine. Soviet power centered in Kremlin persecuted and imprisoned dissidents. The initial meaning of the word dissident is the one against the official ideology and the regime of totalitarianism. The departments of this movement started working in USSR in 1960s to 1980s when the Russification started. It's the process of turning minor cultures and nations into Russians. Russians were considered as higher and superior ones, so they would turn the culture and the languages, just everyone must have been talking Russian. Dissidents spread information about violating human rights in USSR. They only used peaceful methods. They were self-publishing their books, poems, writings. They opened unofficial libraries, cultural clubs. That's it. One of the most famous Ukrainian poet and human rights activist, Vasyl Stus, came out for the preservation of Ukrainian culture. Because of his activities, his writings were prohibited and partly destroyed. For instance, the collection Soulbird, containing 300 pieces of poem. During his imprisonment, he was thrown to the hole and was on a hunger strike. Eventually, he died in a camp under unclear circumstances, and he only used peaceful methods as well, tried to conduct a peaceful protest. Dissident movement was not too popular because the society was scared to be repressed. Dissidents were sentenced for anti-Soviet agitation, propaganda, and KGB initiated cases against them, mostly fake ones. Only during 1972, the Soviet government put under arrest nearly 200 representatives of Ukrainian intellectual elite. Poets, artists, journalists, translators, and so on. Among them were poets Igor and Irina Kalinets, literature critic Ivan Svetlichny, and philologist Nadia Svetlichna, and philosopher Vasily Lisovy. Ukrainian political prisoners constituted the biggest share in count. Historians count nearly 30 to 50% of them, and Ukrainian dissidents number there reached 70% among all nationalities. Fewer centers of Ukrainian dissident movement was in other cities like Kyiv, Dnipro, Lviv, Odessa, and also in Donetsk, Luhansk, and Crimea, currently occupied by Russia. Ukrainian deputy and leader of Ukrainian Tatarian nation, Mustafa Jamiliev, was imprisoned in the USSR for 15 years because he fought for the return of Crimean Tatarian nation after the criminal deportation of 180,000 Tatarians in 1944. And today, in 21st century, thousands of Crimean Tatars lost their motherland again as a result of the Russian occupation and are forced to fight in order to return to their homeland. In 1960s, 1980s, dissidents kept on carrying out their activities, being exposed to all sorts of political risks, including arrests and death, when there was no hope for Ukrainian independence at all. Despite this, dissident movement was the turning point in reclaiming national independence by all countries in the USSR. Some dissidents are still alive. For instance, the vice director of one of the best Ukrainian universities, Yaroslav Marinovich in Ukrainian Catholic University, was jailed for 12 years in camps for fighting for human rights. Nowadays, he promotes general awareness about communist crimes and Russian criminal acts in Ukraine. Now, at this very moment, Russia is trying to invade and occupy independent Ukraine again.